and probably not take a sip of my coffee quite yet until the stuff does the stuff, and it's slowly doing the stuff. There we go. D, could you tell people who are welcome and not?
I think I can. I think I can. This show is for educational. Excuse me. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get out. That means you. Back to you,
That's the way.
Theodore.
Thanks very much, D. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is for adults only. Appearances may be deceiving or something, but we're definitely adults here, ladies and gentlemen. If you were a child, please go watch something else. Go watch Mickey Mouse or, I don't know, Minnie Mouse or Donald Duck or any of those people. Honestly, they're obviously very real characters, so go watch them in their real lives. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the whatever this is, High Noon Safety Meeting. If you guys are new to it, this is a show basically meant to take a break in the middle of the day, check your condition basically, get a little bit of safety in your life, so to speak. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, catch up with good friends. Not a single soul in the chat yet, so I guess we'll wait on that. Ladies and gentlemen, same shit, different day, honestly, these days. It's been very difficult to get some of these shows running, which is weird. The show gets good after 15, 20, 30 minutes, but it's very, very hard to get people on the fucking show. So I'm going to stop basically begging. If we don't get anyone on here in the next, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, we're going to look for other alternatives. I'm tired of wasting my life on horse shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not going to hop on here, we're just going to do other things. But we are here. We're intending to have a good discussion. Bud Kilowatt, what's good, buddy? He's given us the green light, so I'm gonna roll a joint in the meantime. D, while we're waiting for any fucking soul to hop on here, what's going on with you?
What's going on, everybody? I'm just enjoying some potato patties right now. I love these fucking things.
Potato
Um,
patties.
yeah, man. I'm smoking on orange mint Oreo mints right now, and I also got the normal other stuff just hanging out. Gotta go get some coffee cream later for myself. Got to grab it yesterday. Why am I hearing an echo? Oh, that's why I gotta mute myself.
Echo, 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 echo.
Echo, echo, yeah. Cheers to Bud Kilowatt, everybody in chat. 6 people watching now. What's everybody smoking on chat? Don't forget, live chat, top chat for your better chatting experience. Pip Jam in the house. Bonjour, Pip Jam.
Cheers,
Come
Pip
on,
Jam.
brother.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right, joint time. Come and hang out with us, guys. We're
Yeah,
gonna be
come
here
hop
for a
on,
short
folks. I was
while.
hoping to do a couple giveaways, but I'm not going to do them if there's no one on here. Complete and total waste of time. The only reason to give giveaways is if you're basically an idiot and you just like to give stuff for free, or if you're trying to essentially build your audience in some way. I don't know if anyone's ever stopped to think about that. Whenever you've gotten something free from somebody, it was either from a dipshit sucker who didn't know any better, and I'm actually being honest. I'm not being an asshole, or someone who was trying to build their brand in some way. And if you didn't stop to think about that and realize that someone was trying to build their brand when they gave you free seeds, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't grow the shit that people give them for free. People win freebies and everything, and they hold on to them like a fucking, the Hobbit's dragon, like fucking Smaug, basically. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole point of freebies is to actually help that person who's given them to you build their, like I said, maybe it's not a brand, maybe it's just their identity or whatever it is. Maybe it's just to help them get information on their breeding. How many of our friendly acquaintances over the years from this show, American One, everybody else, gave out fucking thousands of seeds, trying among other things, I'm sure, because I've never well, that's not true. We've talked to him about this kind of stuff before, but I've never like digged in his brain or something. But my assumption is to build his brand and to basically get his seeds out there and to get feedback on those seeds, see what's working, see what's not working. So basically, when there's 3 people on the fucking show, it makes no sense to give out free seeds. I mean, I could just send stuff to you guys. I could, if you want Pip Jam or whoever, like, just send me something. I would rather just do that than do giveaways because it's absolutely fucking meaningless. Um, I don't know why nobody ever talks about that. I think people are too embarrassed about the reality of these things. I think a lot of folks don't really put together than two and two of how these even small businesses work. All of us basically has to fucking put food on the table, pay for
Mhm.
mortgages, rent, or whatever else. Not one fucking thing in this society seems to be free anymore, other than other people's hatred, maybe. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just part of life, I guess. But yeah, I mean, everybody has to fucking get shit going, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why folks are so bizarre about it.
And
Anyway, what's that, D?
it costs the person money too. Don't forget,
It costs
not
people money
just
to give shit
buying
away.
one.
Absolutely.
Again, I'll use this as an example. Scammer Payback Pierogi. He's doing a thing right now. You get free hats. So it's not just him making the hats. He has to pay for making the hats, and he has to pay for
Hmm.
shipping it to everybody all over the world.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
costs
People don't
everybody
have
same
any
store. Shumato
people.
does giveaways, same thing. Especially
Hmm.
international.
Yeah.
There is a
That's
bit.
even more annoying because it's so convoluted to send stuff internationally. It can be so expensive just to send a small envelope internationally that I won't say how, but I have to mail those international things a little bit non-traditional way, which thankfully gets through, but it takes time. So
Yeah.
thankfully it doesn't cost that much money, which is a real relief, but it does take me, what does it take me about? I guess I'm not going to give too many hints, but when I am like set up for a few giveaways, it doesn't take as long. But when I haven't done one for a while, I have to actually fabricate the thing, and it takes me, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. Cheers, Finding Keepers. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome everyone in the chat. Bud Kilowatt, Pit Jim, Finding Keepers so far. Folks, we were late, but we're already like 10 minutes into it, so we're going to give it a little bit longer. If this show is not viable anymore, then we'll find other things to do with our lives.
I think I got
Um,
a shelf. I think Mrs. D is gonna want to be. Mrs. D just got in the mail a corner shelf with stairs for the little kitty cats.
a corner shelf with stairs. That sounds fun.
Well, not a corner shelf. It's a thing that hangs in the corner. You're up high, and
I
they
gotcha.
climb on it. Anyways, I think she's
Cheers,
gonna
Captain.
want me to install one of those.
Makes
I think
sense.
he's doing it. Okay.
Probably the kitties aren't going to be able to do it themselves. I mean,
No,
you never know, but it's because they don't have thumbs. They would do it, but they just don't have opposable thumbs. What's
that's
going
it.
on, Captain? Unusual location for you. Are you in
Oh,
Antarctica?
yeah. Let me guess.
No, you
Miss-
know, Hardcore showed us the lake at night, and I'm showing you Lake Erie.
There you
Oh,
go.
I had to
That's
come
fun.
out to our government buildings today and pay them a visit.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was. I got to
Uh,
talk with the county prosecutor.
did you? I mean,
Yeah.
for good reasons or for bad reasons?
Oh, yeah. I kind of wanted to
Hey,
fill
I
him
got to
in.
talk to the prosecutor.
I
Sorry, go
wanted
ahead,
to fill
Captain.
him in on what I
that does
was
like
doing
this.
and planned on doing.
Uh, shit.
So when I came up in front of him, he wasn't like shocked.
Hmm. All
Huh?
right. Boogada boogada. Oh well.
So I figured I'd give you, we take you to Thailand, we take you to
What's up?
Cambodia, we take you to Vietnam. Now we take you
100%.
to the lake where it's fucking snowing.
That's right, across the fucking world. Didn't Lake Erie used to catch on fire? Like this is basically where we're heading back. And I think people don't put the dots together because history is complicated and has a lot of different moving parts. People love simple answers, right? They love simple answers. Simple answers are essentially never the real answer because the world is unholy complex. So basically, simple answers are really only answers for dumb people, basically. But people love to have simple answers, right? So these days they're like, oh, we got too much regulation choking everything. Well, guess what? Among other reasons why we have that regulation is because Lake Erie caught on fucking fire over and over and over again, right, Captain?
Actually, no, it was the river here in Cleveland, and it caught fire because of all the big companies dumping shit into it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
what it
why
is.
we have the Burning River Beer Company.
Oh man, Jesus.
But
Yeah, and Lake
yeah,
Erie was
Cleveland's
effectively dead for a long time. Yeah.
it did burn the river here in Cleveland, and it burnt for a little bit until everything was gone.
And that's what it is, basically uncontrolled industrial pollutant runoff, of which there's quite a bit. 3M has basically admitted that they poisoned all of us, everyone, literally everyone on Earth, with PFAS, and there's essentially nothing to be done with it. They find Someone just found up to a teaspoon of microplastics in the human brain, basically. So if you're walking around, you have about a teaspoon of microplastics just floating around your head. We have absolutely no idea what the long-term consequences of those are. It cannot be good. Um, that's what we're heading back for if we roll back all the regulations, which it sounds like Mr. Muskie is going to do after his kid finishes wiping his boogers on the Resolute desk. He's going to basically wipe away all the federal government, this and that and the other thing, and anything
On
he
the
doesn't
Diet
like.
Coke
And
button.
what's that, D?
He's wiping it on the Diet Coke button.
That's it. That's how you know that it's real. Oh my God, that was such a fucking thing. I
That's
was right
funny.
yesterday, didn't I call it? I was fucking talking on the show. I was like, dude, that was a power play. I don't remember how I said it, but I was like, he brought his son in there to fucking cut Trump, basically. And sure enough, that's what people are saying. Evidently, what's his name? Lawrence O'Donnell on, I don't remember what channels he's on. I saw it on YouTube, but I think he's on MSNBC, I imagine. That's what he used to be on. He was saying basically did a whole analysis of it. Uh, Elon was dressing down in the Oval Office where everyone famously is supposed to wear a suit and tie. Especially Trump is very much into the whole suit and tie look. Famously, he like punched his son one time when he showed up for a ball game at his son's dorm room because his son was wearing uh, 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 like sports jerseys and shit. And his father just literally punched him. Was like, put on a suit and come on. So anyway, Elon gets to walk in there with a t-shirt. They were saying he was wearing pajama pants. I don't remember looking at his fucking pants, to be honest, but his shirt, I remember being weirded out. This fucking stupid Texas belt buckle. Apparently he's a Texan now. Yeah. Anyway, I wonder how many cattle he's wrangled.
Oh, there's Bud.
Cheers, Bud.
Yeah.
Kilowatt. What's going on?
Howdy. Good morning.
Yeah, Bud's weather is much nicer than here.
It's raining right now. It's actually raining. It's supposed to be the next few days, supposed to be some hard rain. But all right. I
Well,
like
you
it.
can see the kind of like hail hitting here, but it did start out as big fluffy flakes a little bit ago.
Yeah. Well, we need like I think we've had like less than 2 inches of our average, which is already halfway through February. Yeah, we need about 12, 15 more inches before the season's over.
That's
See
what
how we
she
do.
said.
And that's to be on the low end of a 10-year average. A 50-year average would be more like 20-some inches. So whatever.
But this
Hey,
area is
hey, Cap, guess what? Okay, you got a pair of tickets. I just got to send him the exact name who's picking them up. That's you and your name, right?
Yep.
All right, you all set.
Give him a fake name. Tell him it's Godzilla Monster Boy.
Well,
And then
I
Captain
mean,
will have to go there. Hi, I'm
hey,
Godzilla Monster Boy.
when I texted him, I'm like, yeah, my buddy from online, Captain 420. And then he texts me back, oh, I got you. What's the actual name? He thought I was saying put Captain 420 down.
Captain, you have to go there. You have to go there and say, my name is Captain 420. Hello.
Go online, dude. That's between you and the box office worker. He just puts the ticket.
20.
Well,
No, go there and say, I'm Major 420. I got promoted last week.
hey, you can be excited, but wait, that's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Just in the nick of time, dude. Not just one ticket, two. You hope you have somebody you're bringing, and they'll be good ones. They're coming from the manager.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
basically
sure I
coming from Warren.
I'm sure I can find a +1.
Comes North Star.
No, you're set. I didn't.
If nothing else, you can walk
I
outside the
got
club and just
it.
say, hey, everybody, my name is Captain 420. Who wants to sit next to me?
And Warren loves to smoke weed, and Fred loves to smoke everything. Fred's a total, like, if he gives you a pass in his little office, his portable office, he has like the whole dab rig, the whole thing. Like, that's like, oh, he has his laptop, the dab rig,
Then
He's a
I'll
Here's North Star.
put some really good wax into the car for tomorrow night then.
Like Warren, like most entertainers, they try to get shit on it. They're like, oh no, I gotta protect my voice and my throat. That shit's too hard. A lot of it is they tried it out when hot dabbing was more of a thing. So their experience with it was mainly
Yeah, hot dabbing's not good for you at all. Holy crap.
Well, don't
It gets you
forget,
fucked up, though. Holy shit.
2000 whatever to like 2013 and I don't know, it was years that at the events and pretty much we were hot dabbing. Titan red is hot.
Yeah.
And then I remember
And slam it right as soon as it's fucking red.
came up
Jesus.
to the house to do some work. He asked me, He heard this, what do you call it? Cold dab. I'm like, what? He says, look, dude, let's try it out. Right? This happened. And dude, I've ever taken that hit and I said, oh my God, this is like the way it's supposed to be smoked. And to this day, I always wonder why it took so long. Like it did take years that hot dabbing was the thing. Okay. For anybody to go, oh wait, we should maybe do it at a lower temperature. I remember I was giving dabs at the booth. You get this, whether it was the nectar collector or a rig, and a titanium bowl, and you get that torch, you get that thing red fucking hot. It wasn't like, oh, let's wait till it cools down. No, you'd hand it to them and fire a piece on it, go, and they'd hit on it. And most of the time, they would be gasping for air like if they were going to die.
That's
Yeah,
me
I
every
see multiple
time.
people at shows basically fall over after taking a big hot dab
Uh,
at a show, just right to the ground.
We had these booths for years at the Cups in those years. And that's how we got into those nectar collectors. And then that's when slabs on those silicon mats became a thing for a while. Because if you had a booth and you were giving dabs, yeah, they clean this whole thing. So basically, we got to a point the last couple of years, we had these couple of nectar collectors, like the big ones, right? And they were just there and light them up and hand it to them. Okay, and I don't know what the number is, 1 out of 50 or 100, like Bogarts or people. Like if you let somebody with a hot thing just go into a slab, some people are like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking just go crazy. Fuck, he said, dude. We used to have a tissue and a little thing in a trash can right under it to throw it away. And I could tell like anybody that was that guy, girl, that was like maybe like dipped in a little harder than you know, hey, no one was saying anything, so they went whoop whoop whoop. It was hot enough. Yeah, they would be snot, like they would lose their shit. And I knew it when I watched them like go for it. You know, like oh, he's gonna be right there at that thing with the paper towels on, and you know. But that was what we did.
Actually,
I was worst booth with Adam Ill. He would always do these PR things. We were in the Seattle. This is in Seattle. And it was like, it was a couple, 2 girls. One was like a heavy-set redheaded girl. One was the most petite, smallest girl. She must only weigh like 75 pounds, 8 pounds. And it was like, oh, who can take a gram dab of whatever? And this,
Oh no.
and you were going to win something. And Yada Mills pumping up. And this littlest girl, I mean, she was the littlest girl I've ever seen, steps up to this rig. And literally, they put that damn thing on there, the gram, and she sucked that down like it was nothing. Turned to her heavy girlfriend, and she pulled something out of her thing, and put another piece on it. Went crazy. The smallest person took more of a hit than I've ever seen in my life. They just took it like it was nothing. I'll never forget that. Wow, my mom said that thing. She just went boom, 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 and then signaled her girlfriend, boom, and they put another piece on. And yeah, she won the prize. It was like it was a moment. She had to be like 4 feet tall. She was cute though, but she was like, I don't know, she was small. So she took the thing that was like 1.5 grams and sucked it down. Hot dab.
Biggest dab I've ever seen someone take in person, still to this day, was just absolutely comical. It was at the now defunct Cannabis Club in Portland. What was it called? The Northwest Cannabis Club. And this chick was 95 pounds soaking wet, like literally just very petite, honestly, probably 4'1" and just very, very, very petite. Anyway, Boom Farms, which is this private family. Well, I mean, they're licensed growers and stuff, but they're a family in Southern Oregon. Nice people, a whole like family basically. And they tried to open a dispensary stuff, but that didn't work out. But they still have their farm, I guess. Anyway, they brought some of their extract, and we're like, "Hey, you wanna have a huge dab?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so anyway, I can't remember how they worked it out, but it was a 3-gram dab, and literally just basically kept slabbing this fucking. It was off of it was rosin, and I think they had a big old glob basically, and they were just like putting it in the nail, and she just kept inhaling, kept inhaling, kept inhaling, kept inhaling, kept inhaling.
Lowering
Took
it
the whole
down
fucking
in.
dab, 100%. She fell asleep like 15 minutes later. She was crashed on the couch like right over there, but she did the fucking dab like a champ, honestly. That was very comical.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 3 fucking grams, D. Have you ever taken 3-gram dab? My goodness.
No. I couldn't. Yeah, no.
It's a bit of weed. It's a little bit.
Quite frequently at all the shows, you'd see people that would be exactly at the booths dabbing out like crazy. You'd see them shortly thereafter, exactly passed out
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep, that's it.
It was like, all right, you just
Slumped over
had
in the
like
corner.
2 or 3 grams of dabs in the past 4 booths, and now you're going to this chair, and within 5 minutes you're going to be gone.
100% that. Probably one of my first, I think my first cannabis shows, I think maybe High Times. I think I won tickets to High Times like 2017 or something. And I got just fucking ripped. I got so high that somehow my pants ripped. Like I was wearing shorts and somehow the back of my pants had ripped. Like I was very, very high. It was good times.
What I found comical too was all these people had slabs. You literally go to a booth and they have like 6 or 7 slabs sitting out uncovered.
Yeah.
And like we're at like, at the where they have horses and cows, like undercover, there's dust kicking up at the Emerald Cup and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, these people are just smoking like manure. They don't even care.
The cup was where they did the midget and sprint car races on half the track, like the night before. Whatever, there's this rubber smell like it. Or in the horses, it was always at the like even Santa Rosa. That's the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I want to say one time when there was one of the cups, like the week before that was the fair, and so there was still probably like donkey shit on the ground.
Oh no, those places are like
I can never see people laying out slabs like on picnic table under the cover or the 215 area is. That's fine, but 5 hours later, the slab is still sitting there. You can almost see like the dust film on it. Like it just starts filming up. You can see under the lights. I'm like, ooh, that's not shiny anymore. It's got a flat finish to it now. It's
in America, the High Times one. I think it was 2009, 2010 is when they started having them all over. It was fun. It was an era. It's not that way today, but it was fun. But there was a couple of things. Okay, a lot of times we loaded in on Friday, and a lot of the vendors and stuff would it'd be the evening. It was the first time somebody had this like booth where they had all the panels to close it in, and they had what did they have like air blower for the gardener thing, and I don't know, it was about 15, 20 of us. It was this whole thing. Come on by, and they sealed the thing up. It did it was like one of the first times. It was like the smoke out where it was like they just filled the thing with so much smoke, and we all just stood there. And I remember going, it wasn't pleasant.
I remember them doing that with like one of those 1 pound blowers or whatever. They'd get like a pound of weed on a fucking snow blower and set it on fire and just like smoke up. And it was just gross. It was hard to smell anything. Oh my God.
The things that they use like for concerts and stuff where they make smoke, it's a smoke machine thing that's basically using glycerin and stuff. There was another time in those eras where it was basically the e-juice. And they had a big one and they smoked out a whole sealed up tent. They make content. That was back when content was a little different. Yeah.
What about some here the jumbo joints? It'd be like a 6-7 ounce joint. Like, I'm sorry if I'm not taking the first 1 or 2 hits off. I don't even want to hit it after that.
Well, even back then,
I don't want to be the 50th person in line hitting the joint.
I've never taken my real top flower and ran it through any concert. So even back then, I had inside good trim of really good strains and make these slabs. It was whatever PR thing. Okay, when you'd walk around in that era, you go to some other booth. Well, they had the hottest chicks. They hired models, give out that, and it would smell like you were in Long Beach or San Pedro, like next to one of the refineries with all the because even though the stuff looked okay, it was like that was the first time I realized, oh, all this concentrate doesn't smell the same. There would be this really industrial smell around some booths, and then other people that had like mine, even though it was trimmed, oh, the exhale smelled dank because it that's where I was like, that's the thing, garbage in, garbage out, okay,
100%.
and most things you're given free. I know this being at those cups. Yeah, I mean, at the first year or two, everybody was. I can tell you this too. Hundreds, maybe even over all the different events for a couple of years. Someone come up to your booth, a couple, sometimes a little group of people that came to the cup, and you'd be like, "Oh, you want a dab?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I've heard about this." And then they be getting ready, and they go, "Yeah, this will be the first time." To me, I gave people their first dabs. I remember that was a thing because they were just people at the event who fairly new. Now it's more of a thing. And so I remember a certain amount of people during that weekend would be like, "Oh, thanks so much. I read about it, I heard about it, somebody told me about it. That was great."
Trying to find a story
Yeah, fun
from.
back in the day.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could just turn the clock back and go back to some of those events? But,
I mean, some of it was fun, some of it was a little bit ridiculous at the same time. I mean, after people taking the first dab, I've seen multiple people throw up from taking a dab, piss their pants from taking a dab. Like, they probably shouldn't have been taking a dab.
Yeah, that's true.
They have no idea what they're talking about. They were doing there.
That's a weird thing, my feelings on High Times, because, as a kid, and even how I lived down here was from a magazine on my parents had a subscription to People and Time, National and High Times. So I didn't even know what any of that shit was. I thumbed through it as a kid, and there was an article about what Fallbrook read, and it had a couple pages and some pictures, and it was like about the grower down here. And then, like 25 years later, when I first got together with my wife, and we were in Encinitas, and we were looking for property stuff, I remember looking in the ads, going, Fallbrook. And I asked her, she said, "Oh, that's way out there. No one wants to live out there." Right? I'm like, "Well, we should go look at it." Right? Because I knew I didn't know where Fallbrook was from the memory of this article, but I remember these pictures. And then so somehow it influenced me the last 25 years of where I live. And
feedback off you, D.
All those years up until I don't know what year they became. I don't even know what to say about their organization. I get the magazine took a hit. No, they took something that was like an institution in cannabis. Cannabis becomes legal, and whatever business things, they destroyed it. Like High Times. Like, it has no credibility. It's the way they do the cups is a joke. Their dispensary, like everything they touch failed. Like whoever invested in it, whatever, to where it's basically bankrupt at this point.
Isn't it the Marley family? I guess it's supposedly the Marley sons, and at least that's what I heard.
And the New York office from, I forget the guy's names. One of them, yeah, it was a thing. Like, if you were old enough to, High Time, a lot of how we got here was from High Time. Like, a lot of people, as we were kids, where did we learn anything? Even some of the things that I learned about growing came from like the little articles. Some of those were false.
They even passed around some of the genetics and stuff too, right?
Like today, we have all the content. If you're new, you educate yourself like that. Oh no, 20 years ago, 50, and even the growers didn't like talk to each other that way. I remember like most of how we learned from the 90s on was trial and error.
Yeah, I think that's what the big divide in the industry now. You have people that basically think they know it all because they have a phone and they go and look at stuff. And you have people that did it. They grew it, had to research it, read books and find stuff, and a lot more involved. You're truly cannabis connoisseur and really dedicated, not just casual. I'm going to be a cannabis pro this month because I have to look up my phone. I can see what I need to do. That's, all of a sudden you're expert.
Or ways that I don't know how we came about it years ago, but we did academics and the content today where we're getting like white papers or like only confirm some things that through years of trial and error you kind of came to yourself, but you don't remember like, why did I used to do this or that? But like, the forums came around. Okay, that was before all this, but that there was like a lot of years, even if you were places with other people that you knew through, we didn't like hang out and say, yeah, what do you do? What do you do? There was a certain, people were trading phones. That was like mainly because of prohibition. Like, you were like, the people that grew didn't want anybody to know you grew. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so we didn't have much information trade. Like, I was in the Dead Sea. Yeah, we knew all these people. It wasn't like we would hang out in the parking lot and go, yeah, well, what did you do last night? What products do you use? There weren't very many products, too. Like, I remember the first hydro store, we used to go to Home Depot, Granger's, all these other stores to set up a grow room. where I don't know how many years, if you got the money, you could go to a grocery store, one shop, one stop, and have everything you need. Fill the grocery.
It'd be $10,000 less.
Okay, right, right. But
$500,
wait, the
600
grocery
for
store
a
had like
light.
next to nothing because there wasn't like 100 products. Okay, right. And then over the years, more and more things. So now where shoot, they have a good grocery store has everything, every little weird thing you could think of.
Yeah, I mean, I started growing in New Jersey, and in South Jersey, there was literally like two grow shops. You had to go to a regular nursery to find stuff for the most part, and their selections were pretty crappy. There's only one head shop in all of South Jersey. There was not much there, and God forbid you didn't even want to go to a head shop or a grow shop because you're worried the police are going to be watching to see who's coming out because they would follow you to fuck back to your house.
That was the thing, yeah.
I mean, it was not tolerated at all.
You know, I've only been down here 25 years in San Diego. So I wasn't really part of this, but my friend who ended up owning the San Diego Hydro and San Marcos and Oceanside, who then sold to Grow Generation, never has to work again. But if that wasn't what he really wanted to do, he loved his business. He was a kid that worked. The product's called Moab. Years ago, there was an actual nursery, plant nursery, like a regular one. But there was this weird curtained area that the people that knew would go back there, and that was where the cannabis stuff was. That was the beginning of what are this product? They're just white labeled for the most part, but and of course his store sold them, but okay, he was older. Mark had worked down at the store sweeping up and shit as a kid. Got a little older. It wasn't the kind of deal where they did that. This guy owned a piece of it, but he made it happen through credit, the stock, maybe even some money. Did he open?
Let me interrupt you just for 1 second, Bud, because I was going to do a giveaway just for 1 second, Bud. Folks, say something in the chat so that if you don't know why, say something in the chat so that I can pull the participants list. In 2 minutes, we're going to do a giveaway for Black Soma Morgana, one of my strains. Back to you, Bud.
The phone call.
Oh, well. So in the meantime, then, ladies and gentlemen, say something in the chat, type something. It can be as little as a hello, whatever. You don't have to say very much.
Hello, my friends.
Love for the Plant responds to Joel's point. I'm always amazed by people who are so quick to give advice online and have never even dealt with the scenario at hand. Just repeating what they heard on the other show. Oh, a lot of people just repeat whatever they heard somewhere.
They grew one successful grow of like 6 plants. Like, wow, still came out great. I'm an expert. Yeah. No, you just had one grow and you had just started from seed. It was easy.
So, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect in action right there. Yeah. Cheers, Lone Star.
It's been some time.
Lone Star.
It happens to everybody. I swear to God, my very first grow ever was in a hydroponic setup, like super like budget ass thing, and it was from bag seed, and it came out phenomenal. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is better than any bag seed I've had. I'm a fucking pro. Well, I was just
I'm the best grower.
The bag seed was so shittily trimmed and cured, and it was probably 2 years old by the time I got it. Is why it was so bad. When I think about it now, I'm like, I was just probably the same quality. It was just I was smoking it while it was still good. I wasn't waiting for it to be bricked up and shipped across 2,000 miles and sit in some warehouse for a year before I got it.
Here's an observation. It's been a while, but I just realized somebody was on the show talking. Okay, one, because the amount of breeders and seeds and stuff and the plant count, I know people in this community that they stay in the plant count, so they plant seeds, grow them out. They don't take clones because that's the plant count, and then next time they get other seeds because they got all these seeds. Like there were strains like Diamond Garlic, even the ones I have now 4 years. Like the only way I ever learned was growing the same strain over and over and over and over again, cycle after cycle, to like learn those things. You only grow a plant strain once, and then onto another and onto another. I don't know, like you're not learning at the same rate that like having a couple varieties that you ran. Garlic and Diamond, me and my wife ran for 10 years. That was only 2 strains. damn, I knew those plants inside the fucking house, right? A lot of times with some of my projects now,
Good luck.
yeah, I really want to 6 months. I can maybe tell you something about that plant. But the first time you ran, but what did you learn? Nothing. You have to repeat things to get anywhere with it or get to know it. At least that's my thing. Even with breeding, like I know some breeders work the line a little and know the varieties. Some people just go bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, hey, you never grew it out. You don't know what. How do you even know what it is? You know what I mean? Or the structure. I guess that's called pollen chucking, right? I'm a seed, like I'm a flower grower. I let that seed thing go to other people.
I like Dee's Mohawk.
I'm gonna shoot one of your 2 ducks if you win, Tommy.
I noticed that. I have 2 ducks somehow. I'm not really sure how.
Fixed.
Totally rigged. I'm embezzling my own seeds for myself. They'll all be mine.
Believe it or not, folks, I used to actually have a mohawk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like full on with the hairspray and everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I used to use hair glue for it.
There was a punk when I was a kid that lived by my grandma's apartment in Portland, and he would always walk by, and he looked, like fucking pounded shit, right? Basically leather jacket with spikes and shit, the full-on mohawk. Nicest fucking guy. He would always say hello to my grandma. Super, super nice guy. Who's going to win, ladies and gentlemen? It might be Coffee Pot again. Holy
Not
cow,
me.
could you win twice in 2 days? That would be incredible. It would save on shipping. Rory Gardner's leading it right now, but it looks like he might be running out of wind right here. Lone Star Larf has really been strong, but as we know with these games, look at that. Coffee Pot's coming from the back there. Love for the Plants in a strong position. So is Jess and Bean. They've been really reserving their power for the end here. At the same time, it might be hard to... Oh, Coffee Pot's running out of steam, poor guy. Looks like Jess and Bean is coming up at the back here. No, running out of steam again. Could it be Lone Star Larf, ladies and gentlemen? Could it be? Who could it be? This is a very surprising race right here. I'm guessing it's going to be someone upsetting from the back. Who is it? Who's it coming from the back here? Is it D Zombie? Is it D Zombie for the win? That is the surprise of a lifetime. Holy cow! The aerodynamics of that Mohawk. Congratulations, Lone Star. All righty. DM me with the Addy. I don't remember your Addy right now, and I probably actually have one of Bud's candy bars. Yeah, you want some seeds, buddy?
Dude, I was watching the playback. I wasn't even watching the
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my god.
I interrupted you guys. What were you guys talking about?
Too bad we're not shipping to Canada this week.
Who, you?
No, you.
Oh.
Yeah, get it in before the end of the month, Fumi, before the tariff tax.
Oh my fucking god. Well, like North Star was saying, if it's a gift, there's no tariff on a fucking gift, right? So, yeah, it's ludicrous. I don't even know what's going on with this stuff. I don't know. Are people okay with this chaos? Like, I know that everyone is different politically and so on, and certainly some people voted for him, but woof, this is some fucking shenanigans. I don't even know, man.
I gotta say, I'd like to see the government taken down to like 10% of what it is. I hate government control over anything. I'm straight up libertarian. I don't even like paying taxes, period.
That's a common sentiment. I'm not a big fan of the taxes either.
Nah.
I love paying taxes.
Well, I pay taxes out the ass of my house, right? The bottom of my hill, it's like a fucking war zone. I need like 4-wheel drive to get off my hill. I can't even get a road repair around here. But yeah, I'm paying like $20-some thousand a year and all the taxes I pay out somewhere or another.
That was a problem in LA for a long time. They've seemingly fixed it completely. Actually, I was in LA. It was weird. The last time I'd been in LA was a few years ago, and then basically in that just very few years, 5 years or something, they completely fixed Hollywood. Like last time I was on Sunset Boulevard, well, I guess no, that's not true. one of the, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago on Sunset Boulevard. It looked like someone had a grenade fight all up and down Sunset. It was fucking horrible. It was just literally nonstop potholes all the way.
Yeah.
And I remember in an LA Times article, it said that the average expenditure of LA area expenditures for vehicle repairs due to the shitty roads every year was $800 from pop tires, broken
Oh, geez, yeah.
suspensions, just general wear and tear on your fucking cars. Well, now they seemingly have, I don't know if they fixed the whole city, obviously. And at the time, I remember they said they had a 125-year backlog. So everyone was just throwing up their hands. They were like, it's never going to be fixed in 125 fucking years. Well, they got a new mayor and I guess a new city council and a few other things. And they seemingly have fixed it all. The roads are not shit anymore. Go ahead, bud.
I read an article, go back in LA Time. Okay, that gave this thing of like over the decades, how much a mile of a street or like has gone up. You think inflation in food has gone up? Like that's part of our infrastructure.
Oh yeah.
Is the cost is so outrageous
Hmm.
to do what like it grew at a thing that isn't part of the other scale. Meaning, oh, it takes $1 billion to put in a freeway. They used to take 10 million. Well, there's a big difference between 10 million and $1 billion.
Well, I know we have some engineers that watch the show, so I'm curious what your guys' opinions are. As far as I understand, one of the biggest reasons is the safety is a lot higher of the newer construction. Old bridges used to collapse. They didn't know how to make them earthquake proof. They didn't know how to make them tornado proof and everything else. Now they do. And so, for example, you're not going to have a Bay Bridge collapse again like you did what 30 years ago. That was fucked up. An entire fucking bridge collapsed. Go ahead.
Our American bridge is a high number. Okay, they were built to have like a 50-year or 100-year thing, and they're over
And we're way
that
behind on them. Yeah.
in dire need of to be,
Mhm.
and the
They're not
cost
going
is
to get
like
fixed in this administration.
outrageous.
Well, I know that this one amount of money they spent on it is ridiculous. Like Sebastopol, where I'm at, about 6 years ago, they actually had one area that's pretty freaking busy with traffic. They took out a whole lane of traffic to put in a big green painted bike lane with all these green lines and there's dash lines where cars may interact with bikes and stuff. I've never seen a bike on the bike path yet still. So now we have, instead of 2 lanes of traffic, it's down to 1, and traffic's backed up for like a half a mile now during rush hour because there's half the lanes to travel on for a whole stretch of maybe about 600 yards. This bike lane comes in off this bike path into downtown, and it's basically just made it so inconvenient for cars. It's like they don't want you to even drive them anymore. They're trying to force you into bikes or something. It seems like,
Which is probably true. Actually, a lot of towns are discouraging driving, literally
because
discouraging driving.
it's so inconvenient to get through there now because they exactly just pile up all the traffic into one lane. There's a big
It's true. It's an interesting principle, right? Let me finish my thought for a second, but it's an interesting principle, right? When you think about it for a second, you're like, okay, we would like to decongest downtowns. Well, a lot of people would like walking downtown zones. If you've ever been in a walking only downtown area, it's actually really pleasant, right? Inconvenient when you want to fucking get there, but it's really pleasant to get there. So let's say in principle, that's a good idea, right? The only problem is most of the people that are going to go there are going to come from the fucking suburbs, and they're coming by car because the U.S. doesn't really have great, for the most part, doesn't really have great public transportation, except for in like New York area, stuff like that. So basically, you have to drop your car off somewhere and then find a bike because you didn't bring your bike from the suburbs. What the fuck, right? So you're basically having to switch conveyances, which becomes a gigantic pain in the ass just by itself, right? So it's an interesting principle, but you're creating a bottleneck of bullshit, basically, right? Anyway.
Well, I mean, that makes me realize, okay, Southern California, LA has this metro and a lot more of these, I guess, subways. San Diego, even behind my warehouse, is we have the coaster and then this one. But see, this city wasn't designed, or even up there, with those there from the gate. So what land and where they put them and the direction they go, like even in LA, it's like, wait, it doesn't really go to where you need it to go because, oh, they'd have to do eminent domain or tunnel. So they just put it where they could. Oh, and then you take a bus to the other spot, right? Where in other cities that built that.
The irony is that LA is and still is actually surprisingly one of the best planned cities in the world. It's just gotten fucked a few times in the planning phases. So, for example, the grid system is spectacular. And I was talking about this a few months ago. Every different region of the city is basically named simply. So, for example, Hancock Park, there's actually a Hancock Park there. How do I put it? Hollywood, there's Hollywood Boulevard. Everything is super easy to fucking find. Olympic goes to the Olympic Stadium. All of it is super fucking easy to figure out. They used to have streetcars everywhere. This is before your time. They ripped them out, what, in the 60s? GM, basically all the streetcars up and down the West Coast got ripped up by either GM, Ford, or another different organization. Literally, the car companies bought them up, ripped them out, and basically wanted people to drive cars. And ever since then, we're fucked with traffic and everything else, basically.
Now we got the smart train up here that spent I don't know how much money they spent building this smart train, basically from out here in Sonoma County all the way in towards to basically the ferries are. So you get into a ferry and then go to San Fran. They're going. No one rides it. They're going to go broke and shut down and say increase our taxes to keep it open. So basically, we're going to be paying for people to maintain and operate the empty trains going for another 5 years.
Okay.
No one rides on them.
So it's about every half hour. They're brand new. They're these nice trains behind me, and especially in the night, they have light on. Dude, there's like 3 or 4 people tops.
Yeah.
Right? Where in a city that really built like New York, you can't even squeeze it's like a sardine can at certain times to even get in those things. No, that's not it must be the same.
Cheaper for the city to give them people a free Lyft ride or a free Uber ride as opposed to running the train.
Now the thing that's like, okay, so from Carlsbad to Del Mar, what do they call them in Europe? Turnarounds, okay? So each of those cities have spent all this money. Instead of having stop signs and stoplights, they built these, everyone goes in a circle. So you just
circles, yeah.
Okay. Except that they did it in a place that was flat. Like some of them aren't cambered right. You see more dings in the middle because people still just go bing. And like if you're going to do those, you do it. You can't retrofit those, is what I realized today, because that'd be really cool if you built it in the beginning that way. But if all of a sudden you tried to take a street that was flat this way, and then at one spot put this thing in, most of them come out weird. They're not feng shui. Certain ones that are built that way, those things are cool. We would have put all of our freeways and stuff in Europe. That's how they are. That's a safer, better way than that.
Yeah, it's not a matter of the circle being wrong. It's people don't know how to drive on it. I grew up with circles in New Jersey, and I've never had a problem except when summertime we had traffic come from Pennsylvania, and they come from Pennsylvania. There's no circles there, and they would not know how to drive in a circle. And all of a sudden, traffic would get all messed up because people. How do they get around this thing? They're getting nervous. I mean, somebody go in the wrong direction once in a while.
Well,
circles are the shit, though. Yeah, you don't have to stop in the middle of the night at a fucking stoplight where there's nobody, right? You just keep going. They're awesome.
Most Southern Californians are like a driver of their own, but no, turnarounds is this new thing. And when they first put them in, you right away see, they put the guardrails in the middle, and there's like a lot of people go, Are
we talking about roundabouts?
Roundabout.
Yeah. Roundabout circle.
Yeah, we call it roundabout.
Country you're in, yeah.
Well, I mean, you get what I'm saying, though. It's like, 100 years ago, 200 years, we were like, we're going to build a system like this. We probably have less, because when you think about it, a four-way stop and all that, well, that's where a lot of things happen as far as accidents and shit. The other way, accidents can happen, but it's the intersection that somebody runs around like, whatever. And if we lived in a world that was more round and square, we'd be more functional.
Yeah. I mean, I think Summers Point Circle, I don't know if they actually took it out, but it used to be, I think that was either a 5 or 6 way. 5 or 6 streets came right to the base of the Ocean City Bridge there, or the circle. So you had to come from different directions, all coming to that bridge. And I can't imagine what it's like without a circle there. It must be a whole conglomerate of like overpasses and lights or something going on. I don't know. It's just, the circle's pretty simple. If you know how to drive on it, I think it's definitely the way to go.
Mm. Yeah, it saves on gas and
yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been stuck at a fucking stoplight in the middle of the night. It's just like, what am I waiting for? There's no cross traffic,
it's
nothing.
Like low infrastructure, low maintenance. You're not replacing bulbs. You don't need light posts for it. I mean, for light.
That's right. The lights don't go out. 100%. If there's a storm or something. Yeah.
You need a couple of yield signs, and that's about all you need.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say, you don't know how many times you've been stuck in a circle. For some reason. I don't know why.
In fact, there was a story just the other day that apparently France only has like 200 or 300 stop signs in the entire country, something like that, because the majority of the country just has traffic circles. So, like, literally the entire country of France has like 300 stop signs.
In one of our provinces here in Newfoundland, they don't use stop signs.
Really?
And most of they have it like painted on the road.
Huh.
Which doesn't which
Well, so
wouldn't
it's still
make
a stop
sense
sign. It's just a sign on the road,
which wouldn't make sense in wintertime. How the hell would they know?
right?
Because Newfoundland has lots of snow there. That's
It's true.
hmm.
All right. I was hoping this was enough for a joint, but it's pretty slim. But it is tech. This is more like a
Well, they got stop signs in Philly, but they just use them as a recommendation. They don't actually use the stop signs. Yeah,
Exactly.
they have the South Philly slide where you just pull up to it and look, and then keep going.
Go Birds, most importantly.
Oh yeah, my wife
Uh,
grew up in Philly. She's a big time Eagles fan. She was pumped.
Cheers, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Just saw this article earlier today before the show. I don't think I quite lit this joint. I'm going to hit it again. From The Guardian over the UK. Farmers are, quote, very worried as U.S. pesticide firms push to bar cancer diagnosis lawsuits. Pesticide-backed proposal, a law that opponents call Cancer Gag Act, pits Iowa farm groups against each other. This is by Carrie Gilliam. Pesticide company efforts to push through laws that could block litigation against them is igniting battles in several U.S. farm states and pitting some farm groups against each other. Laws have been introduced in at least 8 states so far, and drafts are circulating in more than 20 states, backed by a deluge of advertising supporting the measures. The fight is particularly fierce now in Iowa, where opponents call the pesticide-backed proposal law the Cancer Gag Act. Sounds spectacular, right? Due to high levels of cancer in Iowa that many fear are linked to the state's large agricultural use of pesticides. Anyone who knows anything about Iowa, if you guys don't know anything about Iowa, it's heavily agricultural. Like, imagine that picture right there through the whole fucking state, pretty much. Where did I just, Iowa has the second highest rate of new cancer cases in the United States. Holy shit. And the fastest growing rate. Who was talking just now? Was it D?
Oh,
That's more than a coincidence.
Yeah, right. The bill would bar people from suing pesticide manufacturers for failing to warn them of health risks, as long as the product labels are approved by the Environmental Protection Agency, soon to be abolished, I'm sure. Organizers against the Iowa bill are planning a rally at the state capitol today. Let's see what else. We're very worried. Our farmers feel that if they have injuries or illnesses due to their use of a pesticide, they should, by the way, this is a quote, should have access to the courts, said Arid Lehman, an Iowa corn and soybean farmer who's president of the Iowa Farmers Union. Quote, we just don't think the playing field should be tilted. Fair, right? But backers of the legislation say they're trying to ensure farmers don't lose access to beneficial weed killers. Oh, yeah. Insecticide and other chemicals that are commonly used in growing food. They maintain that the tort lawyers exploit and entice sick people to bring lawsuits that are not backed by scientific evidence, and such actions should be limited. I've heard this before. I don't know if it's a legitimate argument, but it's definitely an argument. Several large farm groups, including the Iowa Farm Bureau Federation, are supporting the bill. The actions in the states come alongside a simultaneous push for changes in federal law that would in effect shield companies from lawsuits brought by people claiming they develop cancers and other diseases due to their use of pesticides. Bayer, the Germany-based owner of the former Monsanto Co., is the chief architect of the strategy, designed as a means to beat back thousands of lawsuits filed by farmers and others who blame their use of Monsanto's Roundup herbicides for causing them to develop cancer. Fun fact, Bayer was the developer of Zyklon B that killed many, many, many Jews in gas chambers. The litigation has so far cost Bayer billions of dollars in settlement, and jury verdicts favoring plaintiffs, and more cases are pending. The company says the pursuit of legislative changes is necessary to protect its, quote, important investments and to ensure farmers don't lose access to Roundup. That's, of course, the most important thing in the world. Bayer says it has joined more than 360 grower and industry groups to push the federal legislative changes with the Modern Ag Alliance, a coalition of agricultural organizations, to fight for the changes in state laws. Anyway, the rest of this is probably fucking horseshit, so we're just not going to.
I'll tell you what. I think if the government would make the food producers like non-organic, what they call conventional, produce and so forth, label all those ingredients and have them test like they test cannabis. When you get cucumber and lettuce, test it like they test cannabis for heavy metals and all the pesticides and shit. have produce sampled and tested, and then have it labeled. Warning: please
That's the
rinse your
thing. They've
vegetable.
fought
May
that.
cause
They've fought
cancer.
that
If you
over and
eat
over
this, it
again.
contains high levels of glyphosate, high levels of lead, whatever else. Put warning
don't want
labels on
that.
the food.
Yeah, they don't
People
want
will
that.
start changing their eating habits and going towards healthier, non-chemical produced things, and then the farmers will have more incentive to do the same. That's that's what's selling.
That's
It all comes
exactly
down
why
to the
these
consumer.
companies are
The
pushing
consumer
these
has
laws.
consumer doesn't act like they care, and they keep buying, corn that's grown with Roundup. They'll keep producing corn grown with Roundup until people say, "I'm not buying that shit anymore."
Part of it is consumers are not very well informed, and also
Exactly.
consumers are squeezed, even if they are well informed, right? Even under the best intentions, organic tomatoes cost quite a bit more than non-organic tomatoes, or rather conventional tomatoes, right? So, and conventional tomatoes already are more expensive than they used to
Well,
be.
this is
Conventional
part of the
everything's
thing
more
that's
expensive.
ridiculous too. Is you look at how much food waste we have.
Hmm.
Shouldn't cost that much. We're actually throwing out so much of it that goes bad. If it was cheaper, maybe they'd sell it all.
Wow. Okay. we'll
Some
see.
food waste is unavoidable, though. That's
Oh,
for
you're
sure.
going to have some food waste, but we have a lot of stuff that goes to waste. A lot of food waste.
Something like 30 to 40% of the food produced in the country is basically waste. Yeah. And I've heard as much as 60%.
That costs money. That's costing
Yeah.
somebody's money. So that's part of where the money goes to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spill, you could call it.
Well,
Some businesses
okay.
call it spill.
My brother's is a chef and part of the farmers market thing for decades in LA. Okay. School districts in LA.
I was going to say your brother is part of the contribution to actually lowering food waste. Very good example.
Yeah.
He is a champion of this thing, but this happened years ago. Okay, the school district has to have a certain percentage, not that much, of like vegetables and real food in their menu. Okay, Santa Monica and Hollywood are some of the biggest farmers markets. The farmers come from Ventura, Oxnard, all over. Look, those guys will sell what they can sell. They don't even want to drive what they don't sell back because it was
It'll all just be mush. Yeah, it was ripe when they got to the farmer's
right?
market. Yeah.
So my brother started this program years ago where the school sends these trucks over at the end of the market because the guy that brought all the tomatoes, he did great. He made a lot of money. But whatever's left, take them. Cucumbers, take them. So then all this food, and then my brother worked with the cooks. They weren't very chefs. We had to incorporate that into menu items for lunches and shit. And it's like it grew. I remember he was in the paper about it. It seemed like a cockamamie idea.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
We did the same thing. I worked at the casinos in Atlantic City, and we had at certain times you check your list. All right, this has to come off the buffet line. It's been sitting out there for 4 hours. Has to come off the buffet line. It's old now. It's not bad. It goes right to the freaking shelters. A lot of casinos, a lot of their food goes to the local shelters in the area.
When I buy apples or anything
They package it
at the
up.
grocery store, I'm the guy that's like that looks fruits at all. And at certain times you can tell, oh, everyone has already picked the good one. And the guys that work there are funneling those out. And I know from when I had a food stand, you know which fruit and vegetable is waste out of the amount they sell at the grocery store because of just the perishability of these things.
Yeah, a lot.
That's crazy, right? But that's how it is. That's the reason for it. You want to have a nice counter with all these on it. Well, 3 days later, half of them are bruised. No one's buying those. You got to pull them out, put these in. Now, okay. I just got given. I think they're cool. I guess this is a Snoop Dogg G pants. I got 3 of them. Now this is because
Fucking Snoop Dogg.
okay. Now I have a whole new business thing and fuck that guy. But for the last couple of years doing this black market broker thing with people, it started out pretty good. But then at the end, basically they owed us a lot of money. And when we stopped giving them credit, no same old story if you've done it. And now it's been months, we're just trying to extract what's out of us, what they owe us, right? Which is pretty much. But okay, they made an attempt. So because they now went legal and all this shit. But these are licensed. And I forget what they cost to have bags of them, of these pre-rolls that are like that. That has okay. When I looked at one, I was like, what the fuck? Is the whole outer
But
part
get a little bit closer to the mic if you could.
dipped in teeth, like the inside has weed and wax, right? I haven't smoked one, right? They come in these glass jars with this brand, and oh, the number's right. I guess we have to sell these to get our fucking money, but all right. That's my
It should be good.
Well, I've never had one of these pre-rolls that I really thought was that great. It's like garbage
Oh,
in, garbage out.
I
Apparently
got
Jay-Z was trying to do luxury pre-rolls and the business just didn't work out. He was trying to sell them for $100 each and shit. And I don't know who buys $100 pre-roll, even wealthy people. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe Paris Hilton goes out and buys $100 pre-roll, but I mean, like, fuck, I've very rarely seen people go out and buy $100 fucking pre-roll. Is that $100 pre-roll, D?
no. This
Oh.
is $40.
He's like, I buy them every day.
Yeah.
Stacks on
Mrs.
stacks.
D would kick my ass if I did that.
Right, shit.
It's the kind of person that spends like 5 times the value of a Dom Perignon at the nightclub so they can get one delivered at their table or something. Like, oh,
Dom
$1,000
service.
bottle of Dom. Yeah, like, dude, really?
And that was probably his idea, because I mean, I guess the clubs he hangs out at, it's all bottle service, right? Where they literally spend $1,200 on a bottle of Chopin vodka that you can buy for $40 at the fucking liquor store, right? So for them, it doesn't matter. So for him, it was like, oh, it's just bottle service weed. But again, like people just don't have that kind of tolerance yet. I don't know. Like even these rapper guys, like you see them, they kind of puff on the joints. Like none of them are actually smoking those 5-gram joints for
I was
real.
gonna say,
you
I
know?
don't think weed's even the same type of thing as the champagne. You're partying, you're dancing there. Yeah, you're
Mm,
smoking out. If you smoke a hash joint with a couple of friends, you're gonna be like,
yeah.
yeah, start talking about stuff. And that's not the same kind of. It's not like you're at a nightclub dancing
it,
around
that's
because
it.
everyone's smoking hash. It's not
That's
that's not
it.
a nightclub scene
Everyone's all
really.
asleep.
People are. If I'm a rich person and I come and say, oh, I paid $800 for this house, or I paid this, and his other buddy paid more, whether one's better than the other, oh, the guy that paid more has like, yeah, I got the $1,200 ounce, but
Oh, yeah.
because how much you spend when you're rich is all that matters. Okay, when you're that rich, where you're trying to floss to the other guy. So in LA, there's $800, $1,600 ounces. They come in these beautiful jars. It's good, but they're not meant for people that buy them, and people that have these smaller businesses are the rich, the celebrity. They want to know they have the best. Oh, $1,200 has got to be the best, right?
Love for the
But
plant.
if you're at a party and somebody pulled out a $100 joint, and you pulled out a $250 joint,
Even better would be to say, oh yeah, and you're rolling up yourself and then blow them both out of the freaking room with some really
That's
good
it.
thing.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard a little of it. The LA Times in this group, they've done it twice this year, has like independently tested metric weed in LA. The first time, they found all these pesticides, ones that have been banned on the
Tons.
UN since 1940 and believed to not even be termite stuff, all these different ones.
And Steezy was one of the worst of it. Yeah. A bunch of stuff that was not really on the banned list, basically. They were kind of slipping through the cracks, essentially. Yeah.
Well, if you knew they tested for avid and this, that, and the other, which they do, how do they? Oh, because everyone knows. And that's all they test for. And if you think there's a test that just tests for all pesticides, you have to have a test that is individual for each of these things, right?
Yeah, it's not like Star Trek computer, it doesn't beep, beep, boop, boop, and it tells you every single fucking thing. No, you actually have to test for specific things.
To the thing, and now the secondary thing, oh, guess what? Oh, now they know not to use those. They just go to the next thing, okay?
Yep.
He just needs his own commander data.
Some of these things
That's right.
make the initial shit we used and banned, like mom, okay? Like I read this shit, like the one that was banned in the UN worldwide or whatever is like that.
Yeah, no, it's real shady. That story kind of came and went pretty quick too, surprisingly, right? I think basically the industry wanted it to go away because it was a big deal. Basically, the majority of weeds sold in California And to be perfectly honest, presumably other states as well, you can kind of assume that that's the case as well, was basically infected with pesticides, or infected is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Love for the Plant, by the way, has a good comment about farmers markets. This is a common complaint about farmers markets. He says the farmers market produce in Colorado is 50 to 200% higher in cost than decent produce in local store. While I understand why someone would want to pay that premium, that's why mass farming, he corrected it, rules. Common complaint because many times farmers markets, tomatoes, $5, $6 by itself, right? Oftentimes more than the grocery store. And people ask, well, shit, isn't it supposed to be cheaper? There are actually reasons. There are sometimes good reasons for it. Sometimes the farmers markets just physically cost more for the farmers to go to and so on. So it's more, I guess, a way to support a local farmer, I suppose, than it is really to save money. But this is a common complaint really about the especially in America, but the Western diet, that it can be quite difficult. I guess this is more in North America, can be quite expensive to sustain. You know, if you want to actually have fruits and vegetables, especially fresh fruits and vegetables, you basically have to be a fucking rich person. So if you're not a rich person, how do you get those fucking fruits and vegetables? There's a bottleneck.
Okay, I had a fruit business for 20 years. Organic fruit has a much tighter window of the perishability, right? It's been grown in a way that is like, especially strawberries. Like, okay, you don't have to ripen them in the shipping. They're the sugar count's there, but that means after a couple days, boom. Some of the chemical or big corp growing, their whole thing is, oh, somehow that shit's good for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Oh, it might be a little ripe here, but it's still not overripe here. Where a lot of the things that are world killer, oh, you got like a couple day window. It's not something, and that's what, like even what I was saying earlier with the farmers not taking it back to the up to their thing. Yeah, because it was Sunday was when it was supposed to be sold. By Monday, Tuesday, that stuff is, especially berries and there's well, guess what? Cannabis is the same. We have a little bigger window than a lot of foods and products, perishability. But somehow they have this thing that weed is good for 2 years in a jar and all this. A couple strains might be. Okay, but for the most part, weeds has this window of when it's best, and its freshness does matter. I mean, not wet and uncured, but not like 6 to 12, 18 months old. That's just I don't smoke weed that old. I like it when it's like just been trimmed and has that freshness, right? Same like when I buy a Danish.
Some weed gets better with time, and if you really age it super, super well, it can get a really nice characteristic. But I agree with you; it's oftentimes I've kind of switched that. I used to believe in aged weed a little bit more than I do now. I think fresh weed is a little bit, or well cured fresh weed. A few weeks in the jar,
like
and then
the
you're good to
first
go.
6 months. Yeah. Like 2 years. Now, if you had it in your
My
jar,
friend Stevie cures it for 2 years, and it's spectacular. That's his thing. He likes really aged cured weed, so it is a little bit more somber, kind of heavy hitting, right? Or soporific, I guess you could say. But the fucking flavor, he just does it. I don't know how he does it, but he has a whole thing basically. He cures it. He only cures it in glass jars. It's not a ancient Afghan fucking practice or some shit. I don't know how he does it, but
about is the metric legal weed system. That the only thing our fucked up governor did over this term, as far as passing of all the cannabis bills that bipartisan got put in his desk, is extending the expiration date from 1 year to 2 years. Oh, well, yeah. And they did that quietly, but think of the difference. Now, if you go buy an eighth jar, it could be up to 2 years in the shelf here, there. Took 6 months to go through processing to even get there. Right? Well, wait, how many products go through FDA and all this because they're perishable, milk, this, in a rapid pace? Because if you didn't, cannabis has this thing. We're talking like it takes 6 months to go through packing and distribution and in these jars, and then go here, there, and everywhere. And most stuff on the shelf is 6 months old, minimum.
They've gotten better about that actually in Oregon and Washington. Most of the time, the really cheap shit is some of that older weed, last year's outdoor and whatever. Last year's outdoor smalls will be those super cheap ounces you hear about. But a lot of times the halfway decent stuff, even not even the top shelf stuff, is literally 3, 4 weeks old. It's actually astonishing. I remember in Washington, I bought some weed a couple of years ago now, and it was literally not even 2, 3 weeks old. I was like, how the fuck is this dry already? I remember thinking, like, how is this dry? Because I think it was not even 2 weeks old. It'd been tested, harvested, bottled, you name it, trimmed in the fucking jar, and it was less than 2 weeks old, I think. Cheers, Smashed.
Here's an
Hey.
observation from me. I don't really grow outdoors for a living, but I've grown indoor hydro for all these years. People that give me outdoor bud, that outdoor bud definitely stays longer. Indoor bud, because the way the techniques and whatever, it's probably part of it. Yeah, that stuff has like a faster degradation thing going on, right? Because
All
like
right, guys, I
even
gotta take off. I'm gonna go get my
Later,
kids
North
from
Star.
school.
Cheers.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Almost the 20. Smash was good, buddy.
I'm on my way out to Worcester right now.
Worcester, is that in Canada? No, that's
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Worcester, Mass.
I get it. I get the accent. I know that place. I think I do.
I hope so.
It looks like it's gonna snow. I need to check the weather.
Now, by the way, Worcester, Mass is spelled like the sauce, right? The fucking Worcestershire sauce, or is it just actually WOOSTR?
WOR.
Yeah, it's spelled like Worcestershire.
Oh, okay. All right.
People like Mass
No.
say it in a way that's like that doesn't match the spelling, but he's got the accent.
Welcome to Worcester.
So that's actually how we're supposed to say the sauce, isn't it? Like everyone's always trying to figure out how to say the fucking sauce. It's actually just Worcester sauce or Worcester sauce, isn't it?
Worcestershire.
Is it Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So I was gifted these 3 Snoop Dogg G-Pen things. And I open it up, it's cool. It's got all these jars. I didn't realize it was concentrate pen. But then there's something written in it all. When I put my glasses on and I look, it's like a street map. And it took me on, where is this? I'm an idiot. That's because I grew up in LA. Oh, it's the streets of Compton. Is this
Code.
design on it because it's the Snoop Dogg pen, right? And I'm like, well, I wish it was just.
But he's from Long Beach. He's not from fucking Compton.
Oh, no, okay, this is Long Beach. Yeah, Pasadena
okay.
Avenue, Elm, Locust. You're right. I don't even know where people are from. I know Kendrick Lamar, Compton. I know that. This thing looks cool.
Yeah, Kendrick Compton.
Coming straight out of Compton.
Well, my trimmer asked me to watch it, and then she explained to me all this stuff going on, the diss track. At one point, I couldn't understand anything. I said, did he say tiramisu? And then she said, yeah, the line is like this. It's like, I don't know. I don't know that like, he's fast, and at least you knew the words, I guess. But I listened to it. I understood Samuel Jackson and the girl singer. I understood like 10% of what Lamar said.
Look at the lineup.
Samuel L. Jackson. Get these motherfucking snakes off this
It was
motherfucking
13
plane.
minutes of entertainment.
Say what more goddamn time
I did have people excited because that was a hell of a fucking 13 minutes.
What's that, D?
Hey, I don't know. I don't remember all this. Like
he's just ordering
everything
food.
had this symbolic thing. Basically, a lot of it was dish with Drake and like, fuck. I'm thinking, 100 million people watch this around the world. There has to be a lot of them like me that goes, oh, it was pretty good, but I have no idea what the fuck you said or what any of that meant. You have to really be into it to know, oh, the A was for this, that. Like, because I know a little about this.
It's a small. Everything about it is funny. It's a small A, which is basically A minor in musical terms. A large A would be, for example, A major. So A minor is the and in the song, it's actually an A minor chord. He's basically dissing on Drake because he was talking to minor girls. It's spectacular. Like it's just
Okay,
very, very well done.
Genius, but this
Yeah,
is
double on time.
because I kind
Smash, you were roboting.
You can make a hit records with tracks and all that. That's sort of good. If you go on that Super Bowl stage, where was the band? Now it was a lot of percussion and synth, but they could play it. Like to me, if there's not anyone playing it, if he was out there just singing to a track, well, that's Milli Vanilli, dude. Like they didn't have the band; that they were just playing that track and sung over. Well, that's
Vanilli.
I'm a guy that likes to see a band.
No, well, he's not. I don't know. Are you saying that he was lip syncing on the stage or something? What do you mean?
No, there's not a live band playing the music that he's going to. It is a track.
Oh,
Right?
it's
It is a
probably
track.
for, yeah, most of the time they do that. It's
That's
very,
why I
very
said, I
rare
want
that
to
they actually, because the sound on those fucking stages is horrifying. You don't even want to know how bad it is to, well, you go to a lot of live shows and stuff, but it can be really difficult to actually sync up a band.
Yeah,
Right.
especially in like a stadium like that where there's a double echo.
Yeah, and they got literally like 5 minutes to set up the stage because people forget there was a football game just then. They got to set up the stage and then they got to unset up the stage so they can have, Bud, don't talk over everybody. Fuck me.
Right.
They got to set up the stage, they got to rip down the stage, and then basically the stage has to be completely fucking gone. No nuts or bolts or screws or whatever, because people are getting tackled and shit on that field. So that's not a normal situation. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they make
If
them
you
lip
want
sync.
to see something crazy, go back and watch Prince's, which was years
Yeah.
ago, where he nailed this best performance. And it wasn't like he knew, but literally downpour the moment that 13 minutes or whatever. And there's a thing that showed like all the technical things that how wet it was, and he just and even the footage, he's like soaking fucking wet, but he show must go on. Well,
You know what I watched yesterday? 99 Woodstock documentary again. When Fred Durst was out there with what's that fucking band? Limp Bizkit, and the riot started.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, searching for shit is almost impossible anymore.
How different the times were. Like, okay, 2025, that's 99. So it's like 20, wow. You just watch that, you're like, wow, things were different. Like even the raping, like weird. There was a lot of shit that went on at that thing. You watched the same thing I did. I knew about it, but I didn't know all the craziness that really happened. And that
I didn't
changed
keep the chapter open.
You can go.
like that.
You can go
event
through the
changed the
Super Bowl
event.
pictures, and all of a sudden, in like 97, 98, you start seeing a couple. Once it hits 2000, everybody's got a fucking phone in their hand.
But that also showed how easy it is to get a crowd to like do crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like those people didn't go there thinking they were gonna like do all that shit, but then when everyone else was doing it, then everyone else was doing it.
Yeah, but he also won 5 Grammys for a diss song, which is unheard of.
99 Woodstock.
Oh,
Like, the thing you watch, I remember watching that.
That was
going
crazy.
on. I was like crazy what went down those hours, and how it looked, and how the people just went nuts. Mainly,
so apparently, Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit, they played their song "Break Stuff," which is a very heavy song, and it just set the whole crowd off.
well, I think today, if an artist saw the crowd going like that, they would stop, not edge them on. Okay, but they're like, okay, everybody, it happened. But like I know because liability insurance doing festivals was greatly affected by what happened at that
Oh, I could imagine.
one. Things were never the same after that one because that was a festival gone bad. Okay.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
It all sounds good until it goes bad. Yeah, bring out a couple 100,000 people and Woodstock. It's all good. But Woodstock has always been all bad. Like the first one was in the mud and people were all fucked up. And yeah.
I feel like in '99 for the Woodstock though, it was a lot more drunk people than the like whatever '69 Woodstock.
Well,
that was
yeah,
all
because
music
everything
back
today,
then.
'69 Woodstock was apparently a shit show smash. There was literally poop everywhere. There was everyone fucking blitzed out of their gourd. Like everyone romanticizes the fuck out of it. Oh my God, Kumbaya. There was like fucking 40 rapes there. Like it was not like some amazing peaceful festival. It was just they had a lot of great music
But
there
no,
and there was a shitload of people.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, during the like 69 Woodstock, everyone was on acid or mushrooms or weed. 99 Woodstock, everyone I feel like was like drinking more, which fueled the riot.
Well, yeah, because they actually brought alcohol to that. And, people showed up at Woodstock thinking that, oh, there's going to be stores on the way. Well, that's what everybody thought, and the stores had nothing. But in 99, the big alcohol companies come in and say, oh, we'll provide refreshments, including Pepsi and Coke.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I've been to festivals where I've gone there like a week before and I've dug my alcohol into the ground at my campground because they won't let a bottle of liquor in. They want you to buy it there.
That's why you put in plastic containers.
I said, screw it. I just went there like a week before. I know where I camp. I camp in the same spot every year. So I just dug up a hole and I packed it down with my couple of bottles. Ended up I think I brought 4 different bottles of alcohol. They were all the big size handles, like Captain Morgan's handle. I had like a Smirnoff handle, and a couple other ones, and I was selling like mixed drinks and stuff. I was checking IDs too, being responsible. But I watched all the fucking nitrous people walk around with balloons, and I'm like, Jesus, how much they sell those for $5? A tank of nitrous can get you what, 2,000 balloons? If you get a big one,
At three
that's a
for
lot of
10.
fucking money.
At 3 for 10. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
2 for
I
10
bet-
if they're big.
We were doing
I
nitrous
was
tanks back in medical in the 80s, but we were sold balloons for like $2 or $3. Things were different. I remember after a Shoreline show, I helped my friend in a wheelchair. We had like a 6-foot tank, and he was in the wheelchair, me and John, and maybe 45 minutes, hour. And then when we got back to the hotel room, we emptied our pockets. We each had like $3 in our pockets from like this 45 minutes of going boom, 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 and $2 or $3 the thing.
Well, that's a 6-footer, though. We were kind of talking a little 20-pounder.
this truck is barely going the speed limit. This is crazy.
Oh, I ran to that on the freeway coming out here today. God damn, everybody. It's 65 fucking miles an hour. There's a few snowflakes coming down. The roads are pretty much just wet. And everybody's doing 65, including the fast lane.
We have all the idiots on the road over here. We're just pulling into the driveway, thank goodness. Just stupid.
Like, like there's no sun. You're guys.
Well, you see what my skies are. I can't even see a mile out into the lake. I bet you it's only a half mile. I can barely see the last the harbor master's house out there, because the old lighthouse is up the hill a little bit.
She smells like a harbor.
Well, boats like the Edmund Fitzgerald would come into here. We could get big boats up here. The Coast Guard's out here too.
In New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, I think it is. There's an old boat, military boat. You can go towards a museum. It's pretty cool.
We have that downtown. There's a submarine there too.
I think there's a submarine parked around here somewhere. I just don't remember where. I think it might be in the same spot.
Is it
Not
yellow?
sure.
Would it happen to be yellow?
No, it's red.
Oh,
Cleveland has a big naval base. Well, it's not big, but it's their accounting department is here in Cleveland for the U.S. Navy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you think to
Yeah.
yourself like, wait, what? Navy in Cleveland? But again, you were talking about the fucking lake is right there, and it doesn't have to be the naval operations headquarters, whatever the fuck. It could be literally the accountant's office. That's funny as fuck.
If it shows up,
I think that is a very amusing.
if it shows up out there, there's a red roof building or a couple of them. That's the
I mean,
U.S.
no,
Coast
there's
Guard.
not going to be any Japanese kamikaze bombings of the fucking naval accounting office. You can guarantee that, right? That's probably why they set it up in the middle of nowhere. Literally, they probably set it up in the fucking 1946 or some shit, right? How funny.
This cop is
J5
like
says, "Come on,
itching.
guys. You know it's always 420. It's 420 somewhere."
I'm watching a cop like a shark. The dude's fucking trying to pull someone over.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Guy's got a quota.
So I actually asked a Stady about that. He says not necessarily a quota, but if you're not giving out tickets, you're not doing your job, is what they think.
Your performance numbers, basically the same thing. Your performance numbers are not high enough. You're not making enough sales. Everything's being gamified, dude. People don't realize how many things have been gamified against us, essentially. There's a line from The Soprano, or not from The Sopranos, from The Wire. No matter where you go, there you are. Um, vets offices. Most veterinarians have been bought, literally most veterinarians at this point have been bought up by private equity. A couple of different rich families, the Mars Candy fortune, I swear to shit, this is like, you can't make this shit up. A candy company fortune. They bought up a bunch of veterinary clinics, VCA, Blue Pearl, a few other ones, honestly. And around the country, they've raised prices. They give the veterinarians, by the way, already a hard job and a good day, they give the veterinarians new assignments to sell, to upsell, basically. They have upselling meetings with these veterinarians. The veterinarians, by the way, are literally fucking medical doctors for animals, right? They don't have any interest in fucking medically upselling somebody's dying pet, but they're required to fucking upsell. And if they don't get enough upselling, if they don't get enough dollar value in the transaction, they can be let go. It creates such a high stress environment that literally veterinarians are one of the highest suicide careers. A friend of mine's a veterinarian, and two of her colleagues committed suicide because of this fucking crazy stress. You'd never know this. You'd never know this shit if you didn't actually know a veterinarian, because how the fuck would you, right? Oh my God, the amount of stuff that's been gamified against us. So yeah, he might not have a quota, but he'll get, I mean, he's a cop, so he won't get fired, but you know, he might get relegated to dipshit duty or something, right?
Yep.
Veterinarians, it's kind of crazy because a lot of it's cash business. Like, not many people have insurance for their dog or cats.
I got to chime in. So me and my wife had always 5 Chihuahuas, teacups, long hair. One died. We always had 5 last 20 years. Chihuahuas are prone to heart disease. So the first place wasn't even the name it is now. They call it specialty veterinarians. Right? I remember being back there with my dog was basically on life support, and I realized that they have more shit in this place than they do in the emergency room, right? As far as equipment. Now, when I'd be in the lobby over the years, there'd be people come in there with the dog dying in their hand. Oh, if you couldn't pay him, sorry for your dog. I don't know what to tell you, right? There was a person, a girl, that was what I call the closer. She was vet dressed always in the vet outfit, the girls, like if she was a nurse. She wasn't that at all. I had been to the doctor enough times to go, hey, how much do you think this costs? He knew what nothing cost, even though he knew exactly what everything cost, tens of thousands of dollars. Because the closer would come in quickly, and have it all in this contract, the high, the low, and put you in this thing. And oh, okay, what are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna sign and pay. It was like, oh, can we give you $5,000 now? No, all in full. Okay, right. And that thing has grown where there's specialty vets everywhere now. These specialty vets are specialty, most of them. Like they'll save an animal, but oh, it'll cost a lot of tens of thousands of dollars, like 1,500 a day if they're in there, minimum. They'll cure them cancer. Well, not everything cancer. See, the problem with heart disease, there's no cure. It's just a thing. When I was over there, there'd be the day that the chemo dogs would come in. And over the months, I'd be like, wow, that one's really looking better. Some of them would recover. Heart disease is just a decline. My current one, Herbie, he's on the medicine and has heart disease. Yeah. Chihuahuas are prone to it. After 10 years of age, they develop heart disease.
Oh man. You know
One
what
of
I
the most
don't
absolutely
understand? How,
impossible things about dogs. There's no getting over the fact that they have these radically short lives.
Well, I mean,
What's
some
that,
of it
Smash?
is, if you compare dog breeding to cannabis breeding, okay? Cannabis breeders have, well, overall have way more ethics about like breeding than dogs. Like, yeah, it's in Pauline, like if you can't put out bad line, because that, you know what I mean? And if you're really a
Yeah, I would
breeder,
never be a dog
oh,
breeder.
this guy's a puppy shouldn't
That's something
really.
a lot of
no.
people, 100%. That's something a lot of people don't realize about a lot of dog breeding. There are no-kill dog breeders, but the really dirty secret of a lot of dog breeding is that there's a lot of culling involved. They can't afford, nobody could afford, 100 dogs on their farm or something. So a lot of puppies that are not up to snuff basically get culled. Um, I find everything about it disgusting, to be honest. And it's not to say that I don't like dog breeds. I love Labradors and Cocker Spaniels, and I don't know how many different fucking breeds are all my favorite, right? Because all dogs are fucking good dogs. But yeah, I can't. It's like playing with fucking God or playing God. I can't stand it. And I know that there are plenty of people who are fine with that. I know that we're gonna have CRISPR fucking dogs before long and everything CRISPR people and so on, but. No, I'm happy to play God with plants because they don't seem to, even if they do have a kind of an intelligence, perhaps they don't seem to be necessarily sentient like a dog is. So I'm perfectly content in that. But I definitely, I think dog breeding is something else. I don't know, man.
Well, like I say,
I
like
like
if a breeder put out a Hermie, it'd ruin this whole thing. Or they're, oh, he's the Hermie guy. Well, dog breeding, that's the same thing. Like different, maybe it's not a Hermie or whatever. It's you know not genetically up
It's not a
all
Hermie, but it's hip dysplasia. Yeah.
because one of our dogs after this, we bought it. Its father won Westminster in its class. It's the third overall back. Oh, we paid a lot because we were like, yeah, well, the one we got from the Craigslist, well, no one got heart disease. Remember that lady's house? Oh, we got one from the top Facebook. It had the shortest lifespan. Okay, it had a whole bunch of other problems. I was like, oh no, fuck the thoroughbred dogs, they fucking worse. But I was gonna say the same things in horse racing. Horse, oh, they do it a different way. But oh yeah, they start with 100 horses, looking for one. As far as race horses, and these aren't like some of them are trial raiders, or could be a person's horse. No, these are not those kind of horses. They're thoroughbred. They're meant to race. And if they're not going to be fast enough to race, then who's paying for them to live? Oh, send them to the what's it called? They have Freemason. A lot of horses.
yeah, it's horse racing's a really fucked up business.
Well, I saw this meme thing last year when I was living on the horse ranch.
Cartoon.
Basically
I
said
was trying to remember the
horses
horse from
brought us
Godfather.
to this point. And the notion
Cartoon.
is like at this point we have show horses, we have race horses, right? We have trail horses. Like, wait, oh, we have the wild horses that were rounded up and slaughtered, BLM. Like, where do we pay any real respect, right? Oh, We turned them into these things. But at a certain point in humanity, they were everything. How did we? We didn't have a motor. We didn't have.
You know, I find quarter horses and then roping horses to be the coolest.
I think half horses are better.
I just like the way I don't know. I guess it's the relationship between the rider and the horse too.
Outside of Ocala, there's a big, it's actually where the Quarter Horse Association meets up. They built a huge ass place down outside of Ocala. It's
That's
literally
like quarter
like,
award-winning quarter horse is just like a race-winning fucking racehorse.
yep, they're big money.
Dude, let me go by. Let me go by. Let me go by. Come on, you guys are blocking half the road off, you dickheads. Sure. I
New
hate when people
construction
do
or
that.
what?
No, 2 lanes, and they got it goes into 2 lanes, but they don't move over, so I can go into my lane.
Super annoying.
I swear, I've driven in Florida, I've driven New York, I've driven Arizona. I've never driven in Cali, but I will say Massachusetts and New York has been the worst experiences driving I've ever had. The George
California
Washington
driving's not too
Bridge.
bad. I really don't like Bay Area drivers. Honestly, they have a habit of cutting right in front of you across traffic. I see it all the time, and it's so crazy. Literally, they'll come from the right lane straight off to the left lane and just cut straight across traffic, or if they want to get off the freeway. And California has left lane merges and exits, which is lunacy, by the way. So you'll get people literally come onto the freeway, come up to speed basically right in front of you and essentially cut you off basically as they're crossing you and then go to this exit essentially on the other side. That's fucked up. In LA, thankfully, they don't have that kind of lunacy, but the drivers are a little bit more predictably aggressive. Um, I actually really prefer LA drivers, to be honest. They're not like lunatics. They drive fast, but everybody drives fast in LA. Like they'll let you in. Like most drivers are actually polite, even if they're all trying to fucking get somewhere. They're actually surprisingly fucking polite. Yeah, I actually really like. And to be honest, California drivers are all right. Like they're all trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean? And that's one of the most frustrating things to me. For example, in Oregon, it feels to me like a lot of people are not actually trying to get anywhere. I'm like, I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm not trying to be on the road the entire fucking day. But in Oregon, there's this whole thing where people are just randomly will stop and let you in, even if they have the right of way. It's just so fucking ridiculous. So you
Do you
don't
know
get that
like
in California.
the zipper technique when you're going from like multiple lanes to
Oh yeah,
one?
some people do not understand the fucking zipper, dude. Oh my God.
Like what the fuck, dude? Like if like the people and then the dickheads are just not letting other people in. I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
it's one car. You let one car in and then you go. It's not that difficult.
Yep. No, there's a lot of idiots on the
They've been
road.
putting a
It's
lot of
unfortunate.
they've been putting a lot of rotaries in here instead of traffic lights, which is actually better. I think we have less accidents at the
Mhm.
rotaries than traffic lights.
Yeah, we were talking about that a bit ago with North Star and who else was it? Captain 420, I want to say. I actually really prefer them. You know, they're it's so much easier. You don't have to stop. Like, how many times do you stop at the fucking stoplight, middle of the rain, in the middle of the night? There's no one else at the rotary. You just keep going. There's absolutely no issues. It's a
Yeah,
lot
just a yield.
more efficient. But that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand it, and we were just talking about how a lot of people are fucking kind of stupid, honestly. So, any kind of complication to their life, anything new creates all kinds of accidents and stuff. Oh my goodness. You know,
You
ideal
know,
practice, for
Huey,
example, on a multiple exit rotary, basically, is that you actually signal which exit you're going to actually turn off of so that people know behind you, oh, he's maybe going to slow down or something, right? Most people don't know that. They just race off to the side and stuff when you see people driving here. It's
They
lunacy.
set them up here where there's 2 lanes going to the approach. The outside lane is the one. If you're
Mm.
going to the next exit, that's the one
I
you
got
take.
you.
If you're actually going around, you stay on the inside lane.
That's cool. That's a better system, honestly. I want to say that's how they had them in France, maybe, but I don't quite remember.
When
Or
I
they
would
like the
take
Arc de Triomphe that has like three or four lanes, three
when
or
I
four
would
lanes.
take you guys down to the clock tower in Shanghai, that's actually a roundabout
Hmm.
because you have, you know, traffic coming each way, and then you have two roads coming into it. So you kind of
That's
play
actually
Frogger.
Hmm.
the thing in Thailand is they'll hit you.
But if you're on the inside lane, you pretty much have the go ahead.
I was
So
Dude, if
looking
you
at
want absolute chaos smash, you don't even know. You go to like I haven't been to Egypt, but like Amman, Jordan was fucking lunacy, and I've heard Cairo is much, much worse. There's no such thing as lanes. There's basically only suggested road practices, essentially. There's no crosswalks. You have to put your faith in God's hands, basically. You better be religious, because if you're not, you're fucked. And if you want to actually drive somewhere, you just have to fucking get there. You get there in some fucking way. Literally in a road that's maybe 2 or 3 lanes wide, there's like 6 cars wide in that fucking country. It's lunacy, dude.
I seen a documentary on like Indian, like India bus drivers and how like you'll never find a bus in India that doesn't have a scratch on it because they all just fucking bump each other and
I
hit
bet.
each other.
I bet. I mean, there's just so many people there. It's crazy. Anyway, gentlemen, I
check
think
the
we've had a
weather.
good discussion. What do you say? Time to wrap it up, or what do you think?
yeah, I'm getting
Yeah,
cold.
All right, let's do it. Oh, that's right. Captain 420 is sitting there on the freaking side of the frozen lake. Is the lake frozen, actually? Could you walk out there? You don't
Yeah,
have to walk out there, but is it frozen?
yeah,
Oh,
and
interesting.
you look down that way, and in front here, you can see what Hardcore was talking about, where the ice piles up
Oh, yeah.
and it
Nice
goes
spotlight,
clear
yeah.
out to the break wall out there, and then it opens up over here.
Huh. Oh, so there is still open water somewhere out there.
Oh yeah, it's just
Uh-huh.
past that break wall out there,
Gotcha. I
and
guess I've
then
always wondered that
basically
if the entire fucking lakes freeze over or if it's just the sides.
the sides.
Uh-huh. Presumably during the Ice Age, the Ice Ages, I guess they weren't even there, huh? But uh how
Lake
interesting.
Erie is like 60 miles wide right here, and then
Wow.
it's only another hour and 15 minutes to Dee's house.
Huh. How funny.
They're walking across the ice, Captain. Come on
That's
over.
Man,
right.
if I could cross this, I could be to Dee's house in like 2.5 hours.
Hurry up. Holy shit. What the fuck? You got to go over there and
That's kind of cool.
try some weed. He's got some gaffer tape up there. He's be happy to share some. Holy cow.
I was actually looking recently. There's a town on the border of like Canada and the United States that the street is literally the dividing line. So if you're driving on one side, you're in the US. If you're driving on the other, you're in Canada.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of those kinds of
seen that.
places. Yeah.
All right, I'll be the first to get out of here. I'm just
Right
at the
on, Smash.
doctor's. I hope you guys have a good day. Be safe.
Cheers. Later, Smash.
Later, Smash.
I'll be second.
Go for it.
Jimmy, thanks for having us on. Good seeing you, D. Everybody out in chat, have a good one. And
Oh,
we'll
before
catch
you leave, I just
hopefully-
noticed, are those trees? Oh, they are trees. I thought those were city buildings, but they're just trees. Never mind.
Yeah. What's really cool is that Harbor's Master's house out there.
Hmm.
Arr.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
So
Barely see it. Cool.
everybody have a good
Right
one.
on.
And we'll catch you Saturday.
Have a good one. Cheers,
Peace.
Captain. Is that a confirmation, D, that you're doing the takeover on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all you lurkers and chatters in the chat for chatting today. Great turnout actually for the show. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We'll see you Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel with the pre-show on my channel, D_793. D Zombie underscore 793. Thank you, Mrs. T.
745.
745. Oh my god. I'm gonna
We
get that
gotta
tattooed on
put
my
a post-it
forehead.
note or some shit. Yeah, tattoo on
Yeah.
your forehead.
All right, guys. Later, everybody. Thanks. Thanks, Jimmy,
Later,
by
mate.
the way.
Cheers. Ladies and gerbils, that leaves the rest of us. Thanks very much for joining us. Ned Denver, good to see you, buddy. I think we saw you yesterday, so good to see you again. Hardcore, DGC Jeff, Mark Rish, always good to see you. Al Telescope Uranus saying hello. Who else in here? Skunk Ape, good to see you, buddy. VT, of course, just about to get hammered with snow, already hammered with snow, and continuing to be hammered with the snow. Kind of like that joke we used to, but we are still. Anyway, who else in here? Jones N2 Grows up there as well. Love for the plant hanging as well. Still contemplating paying more for a tomato. Who else in here? Salt and Sea Seeds might be still hanging with us. Coffee Pot, I think, went back to work already, and Rory might be still hanging. Anyway, folks, whoever's still goofing off with us, hope you have a good rest of the day. Justin Bean, for example. Hope you were able to puff something wonderful during this actually extended high noon safety meeting. It's now high noon plus safety meeting. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys are nice and stoned to the bone. Thanks very much for joining us. Again, no specific announcements yet, but congratulations to the couple people who won. I'm going to try to bring back my website in the very, very near future, literally maybe in the next few days or something. So please stay tuned. I don't know, maybe on Saturday even. We'll see. I would like to have the time to redesign it, but I haven't had the time to do that because I'm still trying to fix my fucking garden. So we'll work on it, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, in the meantime, thanks very much for joining us. And until we meet again, my friends, be kind, be decent, be gentle, blah, blah, blah. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. That was a little too fast. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics, ladies and gentlemen. Puff something wonderful, my friends. And until we meet again, thanks for hanging, and